Steve, how would you just overall assess these last 3 weeks, this preseason in general?
We've had a great preseason. We've, I think, had a lot of competition. We've had every guy coming in good shape and playing hard and playing well and playing together. And, tonight obviously was not a fair fight given that the Lakers sat all their guys, but it didn't take away from the way we played, how hard we played. And so, yeah, I'm really pleased with our progress to this point, and it'll be fun to get started for real.
Steve, your guys' first 5 made shots were all assisted. You had 37 assists on 51 made shots. How encouraged were you with the ball movement tonight and throughout these 6 games?
Yeah, it's great. And, we took good care of the ball as well. And a lot of good offensive flow tonight and throughout the preseason. So I think we're getting to where we need to be, but it'll get a lot harder, obviously, once it starts for real.
What about the first 5-man group? Obviously, Steph's not there, Melton in his place, but those other 4, we've talked about kind of an interesting combo with Wiggins, JK, Draymond, and Trayce. What did you see from them tonight? Was it the step forward you wanted?
Yeah, I thought Melt really did a good job of kind of connecting that group, and Draymond played a fantastic first half, didn't take a shot, but controlled the whole game. And, I like the size and athleticism with that lineup, so it sets a good tone for us on the defensive end.
Steve, what was your message to Trayce at the end of the last season, and how has he looked to you over the summer and into the preseason now?
The message was keep working, keep getting better, and run the floor. I mean, we talk to him all the time. When he sprints the floor, it's you can feel it. And I'd say the same thing to JK and Wiggs. We need those guys to get out and sprint. And so I think Trayce, the last 3 games in particular, has really been doing that. And he and Melt have a nice connection on those lob passes. And Trayce has had a good camp. It's fun watching him.
I know it's hard to take stuff away from this game in particular, but how would you evaluate the way that JK played today on both ends?
JK was good. Again, we're really pushing him to run the floor. I mean, that's his gift. His athleticism, his speed, and he has a tendency at times to kind of get into a home run trot instead of going Usain Bolt and sprinting and as fast as he can. And when he does that, you feel the impact. He sprints the floor. He might get a dunk, or he'll pull a defender with him. Somebody else gets an open shot because of him. So the last 2 games, he's run the floor harder, and he's done some nice things.
And then Moody being the 11th player to touch the floor in the first half and starting the second half. What was the decision making, the thinking with that?
We have a whole roster full of guys who are capable of being in the rotation. I have some really difficult decisions to make Wednesday night in Portland. Literally every guy on our roster is capable of being in the rotation, which bodes well for the 82-game season. I think we're going to be well suited to play through injuries and any other absences. We're well prepared and well stocked to put a really good group of players out there. So, but it makes for difficult decisions, and we'll see where we go on Wednesday. But there's going to be, no matter how you slice it, we're gonna have to leave some good players out of the rotation. I don't know who that's going to be right now. I haven't made up my mind because I haven't seen the separation because they've all been really good.
To kind of follow up on Danny's question about Kuminga, what do you see from him defensively? You mentioned yesterday he still needs to get better on defense, and it seemed like some possessions I was watching he was engaged and active, and others he kind of drifted a bit. What did you think?
Yeah, we're working with him every day to improve his defense. He obviously has the gifts, the athletic gifts to be a a great defender, and it's really more a matter of being in the right spot, and so that when he closes out to players, he's on balance and understanding what other teams are trying to do. So it's he's getting better, and he'll keep working, but he has his moments where you see it and you know that he can be more consistent.
How quickly have you seen Andrew kind of catch up to speed over the last 2 games and over the next 5 or so days until Wednesday? What do you want to continue to see from him as he continues to ramp up and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he looked good tonight. He was moving well. We got him up over 20 minutes, and so his conditioning is getting there after the illness. And we've got 3 more practices, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, to get him another level up. And he's such a great teammate, great guy, hard worker. So he's doing everything he can to be as ready as possible.
How would you characterize just how the chemistry of this group has evolved, on and off the floor, just kind of the emotional tenor that you're gauging so far at this point?
It's a great group. We have, kind of a clear leadership at the top with, Steph and Draymond. And I love the vets that we've added, Buddy and Kyle and DeAnthony. They're really right in the primes of their respective careers, and then we've got these group of young guys. So I think it's a well-constructed roster, both from a basketball standpoint, but also a chemistry standpoint. These guys like each other a lot, and they're having a lot of fun. They're competing. It's a good group.
Trayce, what if anything can you take away from a game like that?
Just execution. I felt like we went out there, played well on offense, played well on defense, and did what we had to do to get the win.
I think we've talked a little bit about the chemistry that you and DeAnthony are developing. Have you felt that progress even more in the past few days?
Yeah. Obviously, he was out last game, but the game before that against Detroit, felt like we established something. Even through practices leading up to preseason, I felt like we kind of had a little thing going, and then just getting used to each other on the court, playing 5-on-5. It's definitely something developing.
Trayce, what was Steve's message to you at the end of last season, and what are the things you wanted to take into the summer and into preseason to get yourself ready for the season?
The biggest thing that he said to me was just playing with force, and then I think in preseason, another thing that was huge was running the floor, sprinting, getting guys open shots just by putting pressure on the rim. So those are things that I've really taken into consideration. So,
how do you feel you're doing so far?
I felt like in the last 3 games I've done a lot better job, just trying to sprint out, rim run, stuff of that nature.
And are you able to sort of visualize the potential, the defensive potential that you and Draymond can have?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, I think we had a solid repertoire on the floor together. That's just something that's going to continue to grow. He's taught me a lot already, and just can't wait to learn some more.
Does it feel at all different when you're playing against Bronny?
How do you mean?
Just him being LeBron's son and knowing the history behind that?
Not really. I mean, I just consider him another player. He's trying to make a name for himself, and it's crazy, though, having a father-son duo out there. That's kind of surreal to see, though. I'll say that.
Steve said that yesterday was your guys' best practice, and he gave a lot of credit to Draymond, really
Yep.
locking you guys in. Kind of, what does that feel like when Draymond is really kind of on his A game as far as that goes practice-wise?
Draymond, first and foremost, he's always on his A game. But this practice, he just went above and beyond, was teaching guys, was doing a lot of things, a lot of really, really good things that really helped our team. And then when a guy does that, a lot of us young guys feed off of that. And so we continue to do that, and it was just all around a great practice.